To me, the most amazing part of Ren is his lyrics, his writing, his storytelling, and that is top shelf. I don't know if there's anyone else working in the world that can do what Ren can do as far as weaving a story. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Clarion Call Reactions and Opinions. Well, it's been a long wait for the third episode of Vincent's Tale. The last one dropped way back at the beginning of August, over 5 months, but the wait has been worth it. This is absolutely stunning piece of work. As regular viewers of my channel realize, I do not do first-time reactions, especially with an artist like Ren, who is so lyrically dexterous that I have to study the lyrics. In fact, I created a lyric video so I could get every word exactly right. Then I also have watched 2 or 3 other reactors. Shout out to Uncle Ray at the Vibe Reactions, who did an hour-and-a-half reaction, live reaction to it last night, which was just amazing. So I get a feel for how others are reacting, because honestly, I'm not the most psychologically sympathetic mentality. I sometimes struggle with people that are expressing the deep emotions, psychological realities that Ren is dealing with here. So I kind of need a little help and guidance to get into it, but I think I understand it now. Spoiler alert. I'm assuming that anyone that might be watching this reaction has already watched the video multiple times, has already watched multiple other videos. So I may talk about stuff in the beginning that relates to the end. If you've never seen the video before, why are you here? This is going to be a long one too, because there's so much. I may have to stop it almost on every verse, on every sentence, because there's so much packed in here. Ren has said that each of the videos in this series is going to be titled after one of Vincent van Gogh's paintings. The first one, of course, was Sunflowers. The second one was Self-Portrait. And this one is titled The Bedroom. After this painting here, Van Gogh actually did 3 versions of The Bedroom. It was a room that he rented in a hotel, and he stayed there quite a bit when he was sick. And so he didn't have anything better to do, so he painted a picture of the room. Okay, as the video starts, Vincent is in prison. This is the prison guard making his rounds, and he peeks into Vincent's room. If you remember what that Van Gogh painting looked like, it's almost identical. You have the single bed, the chair, the little dresser in the corner. Of course, it's unlikely that Vincent would be allowed to have an electric guitar and a microphone in his prison cell. So we're going to have to take this as a metaphorical prison. While he's shredding there, notice the pictures on the wall. They are the exact same pictures that the first 2 episodes were based on, the sunflower on the left and the self-portrait on the right. Ren's pretty good on the guitar, but he's especially good at expressing crazy emotions. Everyone knows Ren's background. He has had mental health issues. He's been through a lot. So he's plumb the depths of mind, and he knows about altered states of reality. And it comes out in solos like this.
Anger. Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below. Same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, contort insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect.
The man is a casualty of constant neglect. And I love that line there where he says, even sane men, when put in an insane environment, can go insane. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but of course, he's a master at pulling off, and it gets even more difficult as he accelerates the speed of his rapping. Let's start at the start.
Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painted scars in her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm.
China white in the palm. I had looked that one up. China white originally meant heroin, but I guess more recently it's the drug even more dangerous than heroin because it's a mixture with fentanyl. And of course, the painted scars on the arm represent track marks from injecting drugs. Vincent's mother was an addict.
Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn, tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me.
Cream. I would have missed that, except another fellow provided these lyrics. And if you look at cash rules everything around me, that's an acronym for cream. I never heard that one before. Well played, man.
Cream, get the money, funny Vin. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking, started a combustion, nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun.
Now, in the very first episode, remember he had that section where he showed himself day after day going through the same routine, what I called the day in the life montage. And here he's repeating that theme where days are all the same, every day's a repeat, every day's a rerun. He's kind of explaining, why he did what he did. I'm sure everyone knows that why he's in jail. He got totally drunk. He went out and picked a fight in the alley with a guy, picked up a bottle and stabbed him. We don't know if the person died, but it seems likely. In any case, he's going to be in jail for a while.
Deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison.
A foreboding of prison? Yeah, that's where he ended up. The cycle is a cycle for the psychopaths on ice. Cycle of being in debt, losing everything to the debt collector. It's for psychopaths. It makes you crazy. And on ice is another term for being in jail. It's also a double meaning. It's a slippery slope if you're on ice, trying to get traction, but you can't.
For a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, Hell Britannia rule the wave.
For those who maybe are not British, you might not recognize Hail Britannia Rule the Waves is from a song that's associated with Britain and especially the Royal Navy. And it has a long history. It was originally a poem written in 1740. It's been around back in the day. As they say, the sun never set on the British Empire. In later days, a lot of that glory has been declining.
We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too DK.
What helps you is what kills you. In other words, you drink to get away from your problems, but you don't really escape because the drink itself is going to kill you one way or the other, either physically or what happened to him where he got crazy and went out and committed a crime. And actually, this could never happen in a prison probably either. He reaches under the pillow and pulls out a flask of booze.
And so it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go. Soon he he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so he don't have to think. Mercy.
And of course, Ren has got the chops when it comes to singing. Here he switched it up and went back to more of a reggae type style of singing and music, which he'll go through 4 or 5 genres per song. Let's go back and hear that beautiful singing again.
And so it goes, Vinny starts to drink to let go. Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so he don't have to think. Mercy. Taste bittersweet when the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth. And the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose by decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze, who's who he lose himself to? 1, 2, many 1, 2, 3 shots down.
1, 2, 3 shots down. That's a slippery slope. But he talks about alcoholism actually as being the original prison that he's stuck in. And of course it leads him to an actual prison.
Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny Boy's round.
And there of course is one of the versions of Van Gogh's The Bedroom. That whole section there of him singing in prison was kind of his explanation of how he got there. Grew up with a drug-using mother, never really had a chance. He was a victim of neglect. He started, every day was the same. He couldn't get ahead. He had nothing, and then he drank to escape. And one thing led to another. Now there's a little bit of a surprise. So now, finally, we're back to where the storyline that we left off 5 months ago. Vincent has just assaulted a man with a broken bottle and then got apprehended by the cop, Richard. This actually goes all the way back 6 years ago to Richard being the officer who shot and killed Screech in the tale of Jenny and Screech. Now we're going to kind of get caught up as to what happened to Richard in the meantime after he had to kill a guy as part of his line of duty. Here we see Vincent in the back of the squad car. He's been arrested for assaulting that man, possibly murdering him, we don't know. So he's going to give a little rap for the back of that squad car.
Start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain flat.
Miranda refers to the United States famous legal case that said that criminal suspects in custody had the right to a lawyer. Miranda rights, so-called. At least they're given a Miranda warning that says you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. It does not include the right to remain violent. That's something that Vincent said in the last episode, that he felt he had the right to be violent because he had been, shat upon during his entire life. I don't think that's right. I don't think anyone has the right to be violent, although there's a lot of people in today's world that would differ with that, I guess.
One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the laws, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up, chop chop. Keep that credit top top. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop.
Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. A chop shop is a place where people take stolen cars and then the cars are chopped up and the parts are sold, probably worth more than the car itself. And also it kind of destroys the evidence because you no longer have the intact car. The reference here is that his life has been sent to a chop shop.
Particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath.
Nagasaki, actually the second place that they dropped an atomic bomb after Hiroshima at the end of World War II. The skies are raining black ash. Quite a reference that his emotional state is like an atomic bomb going off.
Nagasaki bloodbath, skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash, red and blue kaleidoscope. Some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity. The one where we elect these lying pests with gullibility.
A great series of lines there. They serve you alcohol and then they charge you for sobriety. In other words, they encourage you to become an alcoholic in many ways. But then once that happens, then you have to pay the price. And then he mentions sex and putting virginity on a pedestal, which is a contradiction. And then where we elect these lying pests with gullibility. In other words, we're so gullible that we keep falling for the same empty promises that the politicians give us. And they're really not doing us any good. They're a bunch of lying pests. Well, that checks out pretty well in our country as well.
1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1, our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 for his Christ high lines intersect. Richard's fate was designed.
So now we're flashing all the way back to Jenny and Screech after he has shot Screech, and now he's running up to find out that he actually killed him in the line of duty. We just went a big jump from Vinny's in the back of the squad car all the way back to Richard before he ever ran into Vinny.
Just set the scene, it's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and reach. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memory. Thoughts a muddled, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absently. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow. In the walls of yourself and there's nowhere to go. When his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't struggle. To therapy, raggedy seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono rebound no yo-yo. And so the time it moves slow-mo.
Wow. It took quite a bit of work to parse that double speed or triple speed rap he just went through there. How he does that, it's such a tongue twister. All those slammed together. Real talent there.
The case was never closed cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister but his sister was removed.
So here you see Richard after had to take leave because he killed a man and he started drinking. He had no motivation to do anything. His wife is there pleading with him. Come on, Richard. Snap out of it. He sits around all day, watches television, and drinks. Not a good situation. Meanwhile, for those who didn't know the whole story, Ren is restating the history. It turned out that Screech had killed a girl named Jenny, not knowing that she was actually his sister because they'd been separated at birth and he never knew his sister until he killed her on the street. Quite a story.
The mother died in childbirth, but dying womb life brings. The cycle of samsara always was quite amusing.
Now that's a heavy reference there. Samsara. It's kind of the Buddhist or Hindu concept of the cycle of life, the never-ending cycle that no one ever escapes from. It goes around and around. It's always quite amusing. Well, that's one way of looking at it. It could be amusing, I guess, but sometimes you're in a part of the cycle that's not so much fun, like Richard is in now.
Brother killed his sister, but the records seem to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Richard's losing sleep while his whole family's talk. The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model.
So now we have Richard as his therapist trying to work through his feelings. Meanwhile, Ren is sitting there with a megaphone explaining what's going on with the 5 stages of grief. Too funny.
Often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile. How to reconcile when murdering a child. The 2nd stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger down the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are.
Anger at God for letting this happen. If you willed it, then damned we are. We all are damned. If God is responsible for all the evil in the world, then what hope do we have? That's a common feeling that people go through when something bad happens to good people.
What a damn forsaken awakened by creation, revelations. Richard cannot stand the third stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace.
Bargaining, but you can't change the past, can you? You can beg God, resurrect that boy, but probably not going to happen. There was only one person that was ever resurrected as far as we know, and that was God's son, Jesus.
Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting, that's stage number 5.
And you can see the grief in his face. By the way, I don't know the name of the actor that plays Richard, but he does a really good job. We really get to see his emotions that he was suffering through after this unfortunate incident. But there's hope on the horizon because the 5th stage is acceptance.
5 is acceptance.
Here he switches up to an upbeat tune, a melody in a major key. Richard's looking good. He's got his uniform back on. His wife is proud of him, and Ren is proud of
him. Souls get shaken up. The road's never quite ideal. But slow rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud.
Do you hear the emotion in Ren's voice when he says, Richie, man, I'm proud? That's very affecting. And I'm not an emotional guy normally, but that one got to me.
And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud. Cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, walked with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma, trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your great.
The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. What a contradiction that is, but how true it is. That life is based on challenges, and the most important thing is how you react. That's what they always told me on the golf course. The most important shot is the one after you shank it into the woods or into the lake or whatever. If you panic and try to make it up by making a fabulous shot to recover, you're probably going to get in more trouble. But if you calm down and play within yourself, you have a much better chance of getting a better score. Bring that one back.
Turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow. Think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man. Hold that head up high, my friend. Come.
You can see how uncertain he is. He really isn't sure that he's ready to go back. He's got that anxiety. You saw that deep breath he just took. He's got his eyes closed. He's struggling to hold on here. People don't normally think about how the officer might be affected by a situation like that. Well, everybody's human, and nobody wants to kill somebody. But sometimes in the line of duty, you don't have a choice. That can be very disturbing, coming to grips with that, with what happened. And did you do the right thing? That story is also in current events.
We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
Well, what could go wrong? Actually, he made the right decision this time. He confronted Vincent after Vincent had attacked that man. But this time, he didn't shoot him. He decided to tackle him and put him into custody. Of course, Vincent wasn't armed at the time. He had dropped the bottle. It was an easier decision to make. Life is going to be stressful. A policeman's life, especially so. The fact that he went back out into that stressful job, and the very first day he had to do something like that was a real test. What a great, great story, linking all of these elements together and bringing us the backstory on Richard, who up until now had just been a minor character, just a guy that was involved in 2 police actions. But now we see the ramifications of all that and what he struggled with and how he came back from the depths of depression. So who knows where Ren is going next with this story? I'll be there. This is an amazing, I didn't talk a lot about the musicianship, the singing, the rapping, guitar playing, the arrangements. I didn't talk a lot about the cinematography, which is top notch. To me, the most amazing part of Ren is his lyrics, his writing, his storytelling, and that is top shelf. I don't know if there's anyone else working in the world that can do what Ren can do as far as weaving a story. Great work, Ren. Fabulous work. Well done.